A show for the serious fishermen as well as the novice looking for tips from the pros. Shake, Rattle, and Troll, brought to you by Bill Lute Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, and Ram. I-17 and Camelback Road since 1927.
Yeah, we got the power, we got the speed. We're running wide open on a midsummer breeze. Freshwater, saltwater, watch out, boys. Bass Daddy Don's gonna make some noise. It's me and the boys gonna shake, rattle, and...
Now, here's your host, saltwater fisherman, the man that fears no fish, Bass Daddy and Tournament Pro, Don McDowell.
Hey, I'm Don McDowell. Welcome to Shake, Rattle, and Troll this morning. Thanks for joining us. Hoping you're having a safe Memorial Day holiday. JK's in the house.
Good morning, Bass Daddy.
Have you been running up and down hills?
Yes, I have.
Well, Scott Corcoran's here from Southwest Fur Harvesters. He's going to share with you that there are things out there with four wheels and a motor. They're called ATVs.
No, you're kidding me.
Yeah.
They invented those things?
Yeah, they even have a basket on the back.
Wow.
Yeah.
I could actually carry my backpack on the basket?
There you go.
Well, maybe I'll just go up there and pick you up if you don't make it all the way around. We'll just haul you through it.
I always make it all the way around.
There you go. Well, they allow parking at Holiday Inn Express.
That's true, too.
And special guest, Derek Franks is with us, the Striper Snatcher Guide Service. Thanks for coming down, brother.
Thank you very much for allowing me to show up.
Hey, this is fun. This is fun stuff. You know, we need to be snatching more stripers out of the lake. And
you got to be real careful the way you say that.
You know,
I had a little bit of a typo. I had an extra P in it.
I was going to say, there we go. We got troubles.
I was summarily corrected about 47 times.
Yep.
Oops. And then I had one email. Who is that guy? Where is it?
Yeah, there's a fine line. I get it everywhere I go.
Yeah, it's fun stuff, man. That's a good marketing ploy.
It is.
Oh, it's awesome. I loved it. As soon as I heard it, the Stripers.
Yeah, because you have to do a double take.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Got it on his truck, got it on his boat, and you're going, what? All righty, we've got a couple of things we want to get out there and make you aware of. The ADA AAF Banquet. Arizona Deer Association this year has teamed up with the Arizona Antelope Foundation. That's coming up May 31st. Happy hour starts at 4 p.m. at the Wild Horse Pass.
Correctamundo.
Give me a rundown, Mr. President of the ADA.
Well, we're going to have, we're joining with the AAF for a joint banquet. We figure that there's enough banquets that everybody goes throughout the season. And Wild Horse Pass has been kind enough to extend, the kind of things that we were looking for a banquet. Nice first-class facility, brand new.
Nice.
We're anticipating probably in the range of 300 people coming to the banquet. We've got a tremendous amount of silent auction items, live auction items, as well as buckets of opportunity.
Okay, buckets of opportunity. That's kind of a new word. You want to explain that?
Well, you can't have gambling on a Native American reservation, particularly at their casinos, because it's a conflict. You can't be gambling against them. So instead of having raffle buckets, we're having buckets of opportunity, where you can donate, and for your donation, you get to put tags in, and those little tags give you an opportunity to perhaps draw for a rifle.
Guns?
Guns? Many guns, yes.
Many guns.
Many guns. And anytime you say the word guns and many, I'm happy.
Well, you've been pretty lucky. I think the last one we went to,
the 22-250 that's still sitting there, waiting.
Hot and flat.
Waiting.
Free-range bacon.
I know. Bring in the bacon.
Yeah. All right, that's good. Where can we get tickets and sign up to come to the banquet? azdeer.org, or call me, or call you, or call anybody else on the Arizona Deer Association board. We'll get you tickets. We need to have your head count in by Wednesday at the very latest. That's good stuff. So the happy hour starts at 4. Correct. Doors open at 4. Okay. Good stuff. We'll be serving dinner at 6. Do you know what's on the menu? Yes, it's a buffet, and we got chicken and steak. A buffet? A buffet. A buffet. That's pretty unique at a banquet. Yeah, there's always been the debate as to where is the food served best. And if you can get a decent buffet line going in what I call a rapid order, it's pretty decent food. I always didn't want to be the last plate served out of the kitchen when you sit down at a banquet where it's a sit-down meal and they serve you.
And quite frankly, I've seen some banquets where they never sure to serve the food that they've done.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's tough feeding that many people to begin with. I don't care who or where you are.
Yep.
Yeah. Now, Scott, we've been working on the Big Game Forever, kind of a grassroots barbecue, June 4th, Saguaro Ranch Park, right off of 59th Avenue in between Peoria and Brown Street. Who all have you got coming?
Oh, I've been contacting Youth Outdoors Unlimited, friends of mine.
You got some trappers coming?
I've been contacting trappers. Yeah, I've got Steve Craig said he would be there, and his wife, the president of Southwest Fur Harvesters.
You gotta love Steve Craig, boy. If he ever told you, how he really felt, I'd be shocked.
Yeah, I've been contacting anybody that I can think of.
By the way, do you need an RSVP on that?
I would like one.
We do. We're, the RSVP helps us do, with the hamburger and food count.
Just so you know, I'll be there.
Okay.
I'm coming.
I hope so.
And Hill's coming
Sean
with me.
Matthewson from Big Game Forever is flying in, and this is kind of a new concept. It's, we're inundated with meetings for this, meetings for that, and we're just going to kind of hang out at the park and have a little barbecue. It's kind of a potluck. We're bringing something. Scott's bringing something. Only when Scott brings food, I'm kind of scared. I know he's been trapping for a
I'm
long
wondering
time.
whether it's
coon,
like possum,
coyote chop.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind mountain lion. I'll eat mountain lion, but I am not eating coyote.
Well, I still got some of those fox carcasses where I trap. They're sort of jerky eyes now, so I could bring a couple of those for you if you wanted.
Well, the agenda is we're going to be talking about how the average citizen can get engaged in the process. Find out what's on the battlefront now with the wolves, the Washington D.C. legislation, and all of those things. I think it's important. You've been pointing out over the the past couple of weeks the fallacies and the.
Oh, you mean the Tulchin survey?
Yeah, the polling. The 70% of Arizona voters want wolves.
Yes, they do. All 70%. 70% of 300 out of 6.5 million, and you don't say whether they were urban dwellers or suburban or rural. None of them probably were rural. You know that.
Never.
No.
But anyway, we're going to throw out an invitation. If you want to do that, if you want to come hang out and find out what's going on behind the scenes, up close and personal, join us. You can give me a call at or email me, probably a little bit better, Don at shakerattleandtroll.com. And what's your email address?
Scotts.wildlifeservice@yahoo.com.
Nice. Okay, we'll get that up on the website today. But anyway, we can do that. What other announcements do you have?
Well, we're going to take a look this year. We do have the mule deer tag and the coos deer tag for auction basis on Saturday night. And last year, the mule deer tag went for $245,000, and the whitetail tag went for $25,000. So the numbers are there, and it's going to be really interesting because the Safari Club International out of Tucson is auctioning off the other whitetail tag the same day. So we had to coordinate the time. So ours is the first item on the agenda, and that'll be at exactly 6:30. And then later on that evening down in Tucson, they'll auction off the other coos deer tag. So if somebody wants to be at ours first and then run down to Tucson, which is just a straight shot 45 minutes down the road from the Wild Horse Pass.
Yeah, push on the gas.
Yeah, you're there. And you can be there for the second half.
What units are these tags in? Do you have any idea?
Yeah, the anything that is non-Native American is where you can hunt. And it's a 365-day tag. For most people, you're going to find that they're going to be hunting north of the Colorado, and it's probably going to be 13A or 13B. And there are plenty of outfitters who know exactly where some of the more dramatic mule deer bucks are hanging.
Nice.
Yep.
Nice.
You're not looking at anything under a 220.
Big stuff.
Big stuff.
Big stuff. What are you hearing on the slide fire?
Basically, your backyard unit is getting a hedge trimming that was desperately in need of it.
Well, that's more actually down on the canyon itself, but it's moving its way up to the plateau and picking up some momentum.
I mean, they have it contained without, they now know that they're going to contain it going north, which is their big concern heading into Kachina Village.
Yeah, but you can't fight fires in the canyon.
No,
never. Not off vertical walls.
Nope. Not going to happen, but it's going to do some things that were really necessary. You're going to have a change in vegetation, and I was hoping that it would crest out and at least clean up another 20 to 30,000 acres.
Yeah, like Kachina Village.
No structures. We don't want any structures going down.
Well, they built that right in prime habitat.
Of course, they did.
Back in the day, we used to hunt there, and there was a crossover road going from 17 over to 89 A. And then you could, a couple miles down the road to the south, you could pop over. And hell, you could go drive clear to Williams.
Wouldn't that be nice?
It hit pavement just long enough to cross it.
Yep.
But now you can't because there's homeowners.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, they're safe. They know that they've got enough of a clear cut going through there, and the winds and the humidity. Certainly, humidity helped last night. The only thing you worry about now is we're getting into the lightning strike season.
Oh, boy.
We got about 4 weeks of that before the monsoons start really wetting everything down.
Maybe.
I
don't know what kind of monsoon thing we're going to have this year. Neither does NOAA, which is kind of frightening.
If NOAA doesn't know, who does?
Nobody. No. Man's tampering with the climate control button. All righty, hey, if you're in the market for a new car, Bill, Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, I-17 in West Camelback, since 1927. Is having some really good sales today. They take trade-ins.
Not on my Prius.
All righty, hey, we're going to thank some of our sponsors. I'm Don McDowell with
Special K
and
Scott Corcoran
and Derek Franks.
Texas boy, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeehaw! When we come back.
You gotta love George.
Oh yeah.
That's a good air guitar right there. All righty, hey, we're going to switch gears and go to Texas for a few minutes. So, why'd you leave Texas? I don't get it.
That's the funny thing.
There's hunting, fishing opportunities galore.
It's a high fence to cross. Once you leave Texas, there's almost no going back. It's almost like they did so many. But yeah, there's a lot in Texas. I grew up there. I was there for the majority of my life.
What part?
I was north of Austin. I was in a town called Marble Falls. I fished the Colorado River for striper, Lake LBJ and Lake Buchanan. And then I just decided that I wanted to do a little change. I spent a little time in Louisiana also during that period. And
that's a change.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you even talk a little bit different over there, and if you stay there long enough, through osmosis, you'll start talking like them. So I had to get out of there.
Yeah, it takes about 2 days.
Yeah. So I had to get out of there.
2 months later, you're a native.
Exactly. Yeah.
You won't come out of the bayou, boy.
Yeah.
Yeah. The nice part about Louisiana, it's acceptable to eat your bait.
That's true.
Yeah.
It is, and you can talk in double negatives while waving a gun, and nobody will think anything twice.
Oh, nice.
I like it. Yeah.
Nobody won't think anything twice. Yeah. There you go. He's on it.
Yeah. So I came to Arizona. Just to try something different. And the first couple years I was here, I lived in the city. I didn't really know there was even water over here. And then I started to develop a little outdoor fishing, and then just fell in love with it. It took me a while to get used to these lakes because they look so different than the lakes.
They're not lakes.
They are.
They're not lakes. These are impoundments.
Yeah.
Qualified.
First time I got on Pleasant, I didn't know what to do. I launched the boat and I looked around for at least an hour. I wondered where the boat docks were and all the grass and all the tree stumps and all that. And that's not exactly how it goes down.
No.
So it had to adapt.
You got where the old dam was.
Yep. Yeah, and you know what helped a lot is I got to know Jerry Tate. So
Tater.
Yeah. So Tater showed me some of his recon photographs, and you taught me a lot. But one thing that I learned the most is you got to get to know the lake when the lake level's down. Because you
need to know the old lake.
Yeah, exactly. And the part of the lake I fish is starting to go down now. I fish Castle Creek a lot, so
So you know where the boulder is?
Possibly.
By the okay. All right. We'll talk later.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
That's why I'm here for the intelligence.
Intel. We're not talking.
Yeah, for the intel.
No, you need to take that up with Tater. Like you,
I had to swear an oath I wasn't going to tell what I was about to see.
Yeah.
You need to talk to me about the boulder.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he has a lot of secret spots.
Boy, he does, man. I'm telling you.
And there's a story behind all of them.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, it's...
You got to love that guy. Yeah, he's fished that lake since 1961.
Wow. Yeah, I bet it's changed.
Yeah, and 6 million people have come here since then.
You know, Jerry...
it used to be just a mud puddle.
Yeah, it used to be, but Jerry's got that lake photographed at all levels.
Oh, does he?
Yep. Yeah, we experience about 100 vertical feet annually. I don't think it's going to, quite cap at that this year, but 100 vertical feet is keeps the fish pretty well boogered up. One of the worst things is the navigation hazard from week to week.
Yeah.
When it's dropping a foot and a half, 2 feet a day, what you're bumping into today won't be what you're bumping into tomorrow. You're going to be bumping into something else that wasn't a...
See, that's why I like the woods more than the water.
You know what you're bumping into.
Yeah, all the time.
Yeah.
That mountain's not going away. I mean, somebody may carve a piece out of it here or there, but it's going to be there. It's a landmark. I know where it's at. And it isn't going to change just because I came back 3 days later.
So when did you start your guide service?
I started this year. I started getting to know the lake all last year, and then January 1st I started stripersnatcher.com, which is basically a fishing guide service that's all-inclusive. You just show up with your fishing license. I usually go to Pleasant Harbor and launch, and it's a beginner tactic. I striper fish, I drift, and it's a good tactic because it's always windy. It's usually blowing out of the south and
southwest.
Yeah, and it blows.
Yep.
It blows bait and striper into the Castle Creek area that I fish.
Now, have you noticed you don't catch a damn thing when the wind's out of the north or from the north?
I do.
Yeah.
Go figure.
I'm telling you.
Yeah, you and I both know that.
You get out on a tournament and the wind's blowing from the north. You turn around, put your boat back on the trailer, and go to Dunkin' Donuts.
Yeah, no doubt.
I'm saying
the double D's. Yeah. Well, you will learn that there is absolutely no problem here. When those winds are whistling out of those canyons out of the north, we took off one morning together, you and I. That one morning we rode out. We were running into headwinds like you could not believe, and I thought we were going to. Yeah, just turn around.
Yeah,
you can spend a lot of time with arm motions, casting and stuff, but you're not going to get anything. When it's out of the southwest, and that's prevalent here, and of course you know that in Arizona. So, all right, what's the hit for a full day's tour?
Well, the way I've got it structured is I do a 5-hour trip for $100 a person. I can take 3 people in my 18-foot nitro. So it's really geared toward the person that doesn't have a resource to get out on the water that works, 9 to 5. I offer trips during the week, so I do an evening/night excursion. So you could work your Monday through Friday job, meet me at the dock, and have a little reprieve from your weekday madness.
What's the best you've ever done out there on Pleasant on stripers?
Well, during the summer, when I really hit it hard last summer, I was catching a lot of quantity, but what I learned is when you change bait, you're going to catch a bigger striper there. A lot of people were using anchovies, and so I just started drop shotting an anchovy on a light system I put together, and I would catch a lot of 12-inch ones, and that got old after a while. So
sure.
then I learned to pattern the shad, and then I learned how to throw a net. And the other thing you got to learn is how to keep them alive without taking up a lot of space.
Oh yeah,
in a bass boat especially. So once you can get the bait and you can start to drift with that south wind and control your speed, you can catch a lot of good striper. 25 to 30 inches.
Oh, that makes me happy.
Yeah. And those will give you all you want, when you let that much.
Do you have anything to do with the 46-pounder that came out of Castle Creek?
No, I was nowhere around that day.
46.
46-pound striper.
Oh yeah.
Ooh.
There's some line poppers out there.
There definitely are, and and a lot of people have a lot of negative remarks toward Lake Pleasant as a fishery, but there are fish in there. There's bass in there. There's a lot of good striper in there.
Yeah, it's the problem with Pleasant is it's highly pressured, as you know, and we need habitat.
Right. Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
Christmas tree dumpings.
We're calling those Cantrell condos.
Oh, I like that. Oh, what about the furniture? Where are we on the furniture?
We're ready.
Okay.
Yeah, we're ready. Last time I heard, we're getting 8 or 9 permission slips.
Oh.
From the
PTA office.
Yeah, from the. How do I want to say this?
That's the
cooperating agencies.
Oh, all the cooperating agencies.
Well, one of them's not very cooperative, but they're going to the principal's office, let's say.
Yeah, about time.
So, what do I need to bring?
All you need to bring is
a fishing license.
Is a fishing license. I've got the ice, the beverage, the bait, the tunes, some cheap laughs. So I've got basically everything you need. I've got the headlamp. You could bring some off if you think you might attract a bug. But other than that, it's pretty all inclusive. We hang out for about 5 hours, and then I'll bring you back to the dock, and
nice.
And you'll have shad scales all over you for helping me out.
I could have done without that, but that's okay. As long as now, do you fillet the stripers for us?
I do. Yeah, I've got a cleaning station. I fillet them and I vacuum bag them, so the end product is a boneless, skinless package. And it's
striper's good.
Nice.
I like it. Yeah.
I have no problem eating that.
Stripers and whites, yeah, buddy.
Yeah,
no doubt.
And then I know how's that carcass working out for bait?
It's going to work out really good. I still got in the freezer.
All right, hey, we're going to take a break, come back, and we're going to snatch some more stripers. I'm Don McDowell with
Derek Franks,
Scott Corcoran,
Special K.
We'll be back. All righty, we're back. We're going to stay on Lake Pleasant for a little bit. Derek, what you mentioned you had an 18-foot what?
I've got an 18-foot nitro. It's an NX882. It's a dual console maroon and white, low 150 mark.
Well, they build the best boat that they can.
I love it.
Oh,
yeah. Oh,
Derek! Yeah.
I forgot who I was talking
to. Did you
to.
just see that?
Yeah,
it was a throwdown and you missed it.
I totally forgot who I was talking to.
No problem.
Don't you forget.
But I have a Ranger life jacket.
You got a Ranger? Oh, man.
I've seen your life jackets.
Is that sort of like the Jeff Gordon of bass boats there? Or what?
Yeah. We're going to have to get Big Mike a new pair of Jeff Gordon slacker pajamas. So, yeah. That's crazy. What's your best technique for out there? There's a lot of guys fishing stripers out there using anchovies and artificial baits. What do you prefer?
Well, during the daytime...
Big fish.
Oh, during the daytime, it's not as obvious where they are. There's no visual cues. The birds really aren't moving a lot. I don't see any topwater bite happening during the middle of the day, but that's when I catch my biggest ones. As I'm cruising from Pleasant Harbor, once I hit the no-wake buoy, which I'll actually adhere to, but a lot of boaters will just fly right by it. As I'm cruising, I'm looking at the Lowrance, and I'll actually pick some up and make a mental note of where they are, and then when I go catch my bait, I'll go back and I'll go upwind and turn around, and I'll drop my lines out and I'll drift by them. And a lot of times when I do that,
how deep are you fishing at that point?
Right now Castle Creek's about 25 feet or 30 feet at the mouth almost. I haven't been out in about a week or so, but maybe about 12 to 14 foot.
Okay.
I'll set the lines at different depth, and it's real basic. I'll use a slip bobber at a certain depth, and they trip it and it goes down, and it's grabbing out of the rod holder and hold on like hell, because they'll give you all you want, when you no doubt. And then I'm also messing with this company called Ready Rig that has some really interesting planers that are beginner friendly, and they're not as hard to fight, so it just gives you a little bit more separation. A lot of what I see from people, they make two mistakes. One, they use their main engine and they go too fast.
Yeah.
And live shad, doesn't like that very much. And the other thing is you're not spacing your bait out enough. You just got to integrate a rod holder or a planer board that'll just give you some spacing, so you can have a little bit more coverage when you're.
What's a planer board?
A planer board.
You're a woodworker. You figured it out.
Yeah, we're sort of looking like deer in the headlights over here.
A planer board is kind of like a cross between a stealth fighter and a slip bobber. That
explains everything.
That cleared it up.
Wow,
really
thank
good.
you.
Yeah. Basically, it's flat and it's angled on the outside end, and it'll separate. It'll fin out whenever you pull it. It'll actually go sideways away from the boat as it goes backwards. So you get
it's
a
like
little
fishing with a lip.
Yeah.
Big lip.
Yeah, so you get a lot more coverage that way. I mean, from the bait on the left to the bait on the right, you can be 50 yards apart almost, so you get a lot more coverage.
Area coverage.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Because, striper, they don't stay still. They're going to swim all day nonstop. So if you can, if you can keep your bait moving and have a lot of width there with your pull, then, the odds of you catching something are a lot greater.
Okay, so how are you rigging your shad?
I rig them through, well, that's a good question. I like to use the small ones because a lot of times, depending on the direction you're dragging it, sometimes the striper will come up from behind and just hit the back of it, and you don't get a good hookup.
Right.
Your rod will trip and you miss him. So I like to use the 4-inch shad being the biggest one, and I'll hook it through the lip with the barb up and just hope for the best. A lot of times it's, some people like to use trailer hooks and all that other good stuff, but I haven't really gotten into that yet.
Nose hook's pretty universal.
Yeah.
You'll learn that.
I will.
On the anchovies, yeah.
I got a question, Don. Do you see Game and Fish or any of the authorities enforcing that clean, drain, and dry, trying to keep the little critters in check?
I usually get on the water late, and I usually try to avoid weekends. So those two things, I try to stay just out of the heavy traffic time. So I haven't yet to see them on the ramp, but I usually come off the water about 9 o'clock at night, so I don't see anyone except a few.
We can always make sure that Officer Friendly has somebody there over the long Labor Day, Memorial Day, 4th of July weekend.
They're out in mass, clean, drain, and dry. Pull your plug.
Yeah. One thing I do see, though, is when I went out on Take a Kid Fishing Day, I did see a checkpoint they had set up in the middle of the lake, so that was good.
What?
That they were just doing some service work in the middle of the lake with their binoculars, just checking for any kind of infraction of compliance, so that was good to have them out there. Because one thing I see a lot
on Take a Kid Fishing Day.
Yeah. Yeah, one thing I see a lot is a lot of people don't adhere to the signage on the lake. I see people.
Captain Dave coming.
I see people 2 miles inside of Castle Creek going full speed, and like we were talking about earlier,
it's
the
not
water.
Anybody in a bass boat though.
No, not normally.
Not normally.
It's going to be your fishing skis pulling somebody in really shallow water, because there's areas back there that are.
That's God's way of getting rid of stupid people.
Yeah.
Low end of the gene pool and the low end of the lake. Good night. Goodbye.
Yeah, that's one way to get some free structure for the fish, I guess, when they crash your boat and sink it.
I like it. Yeah.
And then the other thing that shouldn't happen is, a lot of the guys on weekends, they'll tie off to the buoys, and so you can't see the buoys anyway.
Yeah.
So just get an anchor and just kind of separate yourself from that marker.
Have you fished the pumps during the wintertime?
I never have.
Really?
No. I never have. And another thing is I've never been all the way up to Agua Fria either. So
that's because it's closed from December to June.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, what's better in terms of results, night fishing or day fishing with you?
Well, if you want to catch a bigger fish, I
want big.
The evening time is going to be good, daytime/evening. If you want your 8-year-old to catch his first fish, at nighttime is going to be awesome, because we attract so much fish that they actually bite it on the way down. What I do is I'll take the extra shad I've got, and I'll chum them into a block. I bought an extra blender, and I'll actually make a block.
Wait a minute. You're using a blender?
Yeah, but it's not in the house.
Stay with us, John.
Yeah, so I'll actually make a cube, kind of like an ice cube, out of chum, and I'll put it in a minnow trap and drop it down when I'm night fishing, and it'll disperse all the attractants that they like, and there'll be
called baiting.
Yeah, you got to bait them.
World.
Just
wait a minute. So you take shad, you toss them into a blender.
Yeah, Bassomatic, remember?
Bassomatic, yeah, and then you freeze them, and then you bring it out to the lake and you put it into a minnow trap and you troll it behind as a chum bait.
I know I don't use it when I'm moving. I just use it when I'm still. But I mean, you might be able to troll with it. But yeah, that's kind of what I do, because a lot of people get so focused on night fishing with a light, but the other most important component is you got to chum, because they're real smell oriented. Yeah, and the thing about it is at night, a lot of the size is going to run together. So if you get on a school of small ones, just pick your stuff up and move. And just, it's kind of like it's more or less like a roulette, a game at night.
It is.
During the daytime, to get a good bite on a shad, it's going to be a good striper. The anchovy bite is going to be hit or miss.
Have you got a trolling motor on your Nitro?
Yeah. I do. It came with a trolling motor.
You see, he didn't call it your boat, your ship. He called it your Nitro.
Not on the bow, no.
No, I've got one on the bow.
Trolling, not a troll-in.
Yeah, I've got a troll-in. Well, that's what I call it. It's in the front.
Yeah.
And so my main position when I'm guiding is I just keep the boat in position, because usually that we get a lot of west wind, and when you're trolling south to north, you're
getting pushed.
Yeah, and my main concern is to keep the boat facing north, and I just let the fishermen take over the back, and so whatever happens, it's all on them, and I'm just
see you later. I'll pick you. Yeah. I'm here up front of the boat. You're in the back of the boat. We'll chat 5 hours later.
Yeah. And but another important thing is it gets really windy, and it changes direction a lot, and that can really throw you off on Pleasant. So one thing I use is a drift sock.
Nice.
And a lot of people don't know what that is, and it's just basically a sock you put underwater that's made out of nylon, and it fills up with water and it slows your drift down, so you can.
It's not pantyhose, John.
Yeah. Come on.
He steal his wife's pantyhose to do this.
Yeah, well, I made the prototype out of that. Yeah.
Oh nice. No.
And then I filled it with chum. No.
No.
Yeah, you got a lot of explaining to do. When I get home and there's the whole striper snatcher misconception with the scales, it looks like glitter, so I could get in trouble at any moment.
Yeah, man. I love this guy.
I do. You know what? I appreciate that. The sniper snatcher
takes to a break before we get in hot water. All righty, we're back. We've got one soldier on roll call for May 25th. We'll tell you about her in a few minutes, but Monday, starting at 8 a.m. on 2300 West Van Buren, is the Greenwood Cemetery annual Memorial Day event. It's a ceremony to honor those that have gone before us. If you don't have anything to do, you might want to check that out. Pretty interesting event. Getting back to Lake Pleasant, reason I ask about the trolling motor, have you had trolling?
I got the last trip I went on, my blade fell off, and so it was immediate.
On the troll-in motor?
On the trolling.
All right.
Of apostrophe at that.
That kind of sucks.
Yeah. Yeah, what do you do then?
Get the spare one out of the port dry storage locker?
Yeah.
Do Nitros have those?
No.
Oh, bummer.
Oh, I'm sure they do. I'm sure they do.
You're going to just get beat up all day about that darn Nitro.
Well, Rapala, depending on what part of the country you're from, it's Rapala or Rapala. I grew up and it was Rapala. Mm-hmm. Bill Clinton came around, it's Rapala.
Yeah.
Okay, whatever. They make a Magnum 18 and the Magnum 20s. Have you ever thought about dragging one of those?
Well, I'm glad you mentioned that, because I do that sometimes with the main engine just to maximize fishing. So I'll tie 2 of those on before I even go get bait, and I'll drag them with the main engine at about 500 RPM.
Yep.
And so
that'll
work.
What motor are you running?
A Mercury 150.
Okay, you're.
So I'm not really. I'm not blazing through there with those baits,
Mercury's
but
good.
Well, go ahead, take your shots.
No, I'm not.
Okay.
I'll be off the air. I'm not going there. I don't want to deal with that particular group.
Oh man.
Yeah. Any success on them?
Yeah, and
Is this something we don't need to talk about and just keep between you and I?
No. I actually catch a lot. For some reason, I catch a lot of white bass off of them. And
white bass are suicidal.
Yeah, they don't care what size it is. They'll hit something bigger than them. And
it's called extreme optimism.
Yeah,
John, these magnums are about 10, 12 inch 14 inch long, and they're nuts.
And they're whacking at them, and they're 8 inch long.
Yeah, well, we've talked about, and I don't have a trolling motor, and my big motor won't choke down slow enough.
Yeah.
But, Jerry and I have threatened to find something with a trolling motor on it and drag those certain times of year right off the pumps, throw them in past the pumps, and then drag them out down past that first island on the north.
Uh-huh.
Interesting.
Yeah.
We, I guess about 5 years ago, one of the guys was dragging those for tuna. And I'm thinking, you've lost your mind.
Wow.
Bam! Hook up. Here we go. And, the purple and black stripe one seems to work pretty well offshore. And I'm just real curious how that would work here.
Yeah.
Striper, big stripers.
It's a versatile bait, and there's big striper out there. If you were patient, I'm sure you'd
get
something to knock the paint off of
no
it.
less than 50-pound monofilament or 100-pound braid.
Yeah.
Seeing what you can drag up.
Yeah, there's big fish in there. That's the urban legend anyway.
Well, there's I talked to two guys up in Castle Creek, weeks ago that had a reported 45, 46-pound striper.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah, big stuff.
Well, I know that there's, the shad that I net are the size of this water bottle I'm holding. I mean,
they're getting bigger. For some reason, it seems that the shad, the forage base, is getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
For shad, forage base?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, there's some just monster shad up there that make a great sandwich.
There are. And a lot of people are saying that those, in some extent, are invasive.
Some extent?
I think everything's invasive.
Everything we
given
have.
Too much.
Let's put it this way. You're invasive. I was born here. You invaded from Texas.
Oh.
You are.
Yeah.
I mean,
as are all the elk in this state.
Was this like Louisiana when you eat your bait now? When you catch your shad, do you eat your bait?
Little lemon juice, and some mustard, tomato
I've
sauce.
seen clips of him biting heads off and swallowing them of anchovies, so don't go there.
Yeah,
those are oily.
You pay those, a big premium at the market for that. You can buy them jarred, pickled.
Pickled I like.
Olive oil, mustard sauce,
olive oil,
tomato
good.
sauce.
Mustard sauce, good. Yeah, all of the above.
They'll probably even make a sausage link out of an anchovy over there. I wouldn't doubt it.
You know what? There's a concept. I got to think about that. I wonder how that would taste.
Gizzard shad.
No.
Crock pot recipe.
That's nasty.
Yeah.
Okay, so what do you do with the fish afterward? You said you had a cleaning station. You have a cleaning station on your boat? You want to back in your truck?
I've got one at home. So I clean them.
Have you been with Tater while he's cleaning his stuff?
No.
I'm telling you. He drops his tailgate, and out comes the cutting board and the clips.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah.
He's right then and there. Yeah, I want to start doing that.
I am not driving all the way down to your house with the cutting boards and the fillet knives just to see him pack them away.
Well, we built some really nice cleaning stations over at Windy Hill. They're all closed down now.
Why is that?
Budget cuts.
Oh, budget cuts.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
We were promised change in the wind when we got Obama.
Change.
Yeah.
You got change.
Yeah.
Less.
How much
change?
How much money does it take to run a cleaning station?
They have to empty it out.
Yeah. Nobody wants to go.
Don't they already have people employed to? They get paid to
You can take that
salary.
up with Tonto National Forest, and I really wish you would.
Don't they have people that are on salary, and that's like their job is to go around?
I mean,
any Forest Service personnel. Do you know that 70% of the money that Forest Service personnel earn during the 3 months of summer fighting fires?
Oh yeah.
Wow.
That's what they do.
Yeah, I'm not going to take those guys to task. We're talking about.
But it was like when I was in the service, I'm getting paid 24 hours a day, so whatever they told me to do, that's what I did.
All pays the same.
I've waxed mailboxes.
And you did a fine job.
I did a good job of it.
You whacked mailboxes?
Yes, sir. When Reagan was president, Reagan used to fly in to Luke.
Yeah.
And they wanted it just right, so we waxed in both
waxed. I thought you whacked.
Waxed. And buffed mailboxes, so it looked good for Ron and Reagan to come
through. I've whacked a few mailboxes. Yeah. That was old.
With the old
Derek, this is going south real fast. What's your day job, buddy?
My day job, I work full-time. I've been in the golf business my entire life. I got a golf scholarship right out of high school to a school in North Carolina, so I've been in the golf business ever since the mid-'90s. And
your handicap is?
0.
I figured.
Yeah, I've been scratched since 1998.
Do not play
with handicap is the nitro.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. But I don't play golf that much anymore because I'd rather. This is my saying. I'd rather hook a fish than hook a golf ball. Because you don't get paid. You don't get paid to hook a ball.
I don't have a hook. I have a slice.
Yeah. I've got a
when I learned that, the Pines course, water hazards came to mind. They're just some absolute bruiser bass in these water hazards.
I've noticed some of the places that I thought had them, like over off of in Tempe, they don't have them anymore. They don't have the bass, and it's like they killed them off.
What do they have? Catfish? Carp?
I see nothing. There's no fish in some of these golf course lakes now, and it's starting to bother me. I don't know what they're doing to them because they were primo bass spots.
When John Niemeyer was here, John's moved, I think, back to Ohio, taking care of his mom. We would go over on what we call Lake X to test the new Niemeyer lures. Wow.
You always got to have a nice little secret spot,
Yeah, if the bad part was dodging golf balls and the sprinklers because they alternated the sprinkling schedule.
Yeah, get that irrigation water. I call that a free shower.
Yeah, well, yeah, buddy. But anyway, it's all good. Do you fish the water hazards ever?
No, I've never have. I've been tempted to.
Now, Derek,
I'm tempted. I see a lot of catfish, but I haven't seen a bass. But I bet there's one in that.
It's the golden black Rapala.
Yeah, I might have to try that out today.
That big.
Yeah.
Not the one that suspends the floater.
Okay.
I still want to go out onto a golf course and catch bass at night.
It's fun just to have a rod and reel in your bag. That makes you feel like you're on a vacation.
Oh, absolutely.
Right
Yep. Those little Snoopy Go Get 'em rods that we gave to you.
Someday I'll tell you the story about me taking in my golf bag, my shotgun, and going goose hunting.
Nice. That's all good. All right, guys, we've got Memorial Day on Monday. Again, Greenwood Cemetery, 2300 West Van Buren. This is roll call for May 25th. We lost one soldier in Amman, Jordan, and this is another one of those. We don't have the actual circumstances of this soldier's demise. Army Specialist Adrian M. Perkins.
It's time for the award-winning Shake, Rattle, and Troll. A show for the serious fishermen as well as the novice looking for tips from the pros. Shake, Rattle, and Troll, brought to you by Bill Luke Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, and Ram. I-17 and Camelback Road since 1927.
Yeah, we got the power, we got the speed. We're running wide open on a midsummer breeze. Freshwater, saltwater, watch out, boys. Bass Daddy Don's gonna make some noise. It's me and the boys gonna shake, rattle, and
now, here's your host, saltwater fisherman, the man that fears no fish, Bass Daddy and Tournament Pro, Don McDowell.
All righty, thanks for joining the second hour of Shake, Rattle, and Troll. We have Derek Franks here, along with Scott Corp, the Vice President of Southwest for Harvesters, and Special K, President of the ADA. Tell us about the banquet.
Basically, for $70, you get in, you get a great meal. You have the opportunity to help promote the Arizona Deer Association, which by virtue of that, we sit at the table with the Game and Fish Department. A good example was last Wednesday night.
Absolutely.
We sat down with Director Boyles, Ty Gray, Jim DeVos, Jim Hinkle, and they asked us, what do we need? What are we looking for?
Commissioner
and two commissioners
and,
were there.
New commissioner, freshman commissioner Ammon out of...
Jim Ammons, yep.
Yuma.
The Yuma Valley Riding Club boys. It's basically we are on watch now, and I think that's one of the things that the ADA has done for sportsmen, and they don't realize it. Most of the guys, I mean, there's 140,000 applicants for deer tags, and probably 50 of us know what's going on in this state. But at least we sit at the table and we try and understand the issues. And
well, you're working shoulder to shoulder with Big Game Branch Chief Brian Wakeling on a new deer habitat program.
It's an initiative, and it's in combination with the Mule Deer Foundation, but it's also a lot of federal money. And we took a look at 2 units that we really want to concentrate on, 16 and 21. Those 2 units we're going to try and do as much as we can in terms of development for habitat, with the proviso that we have, in combination with that, predator control, which we have not really addressed except in a couple trial units. And we're finding that by those trial units, we're able to actively promote growth within the deer and antelope herds by using selective measuring. You can't just go into a specific area and whack a coyote and feel like, okay, we've done our job. You have to do it on a concentrated effort over a 2-year period. And that includes a lot of things that people don't like to hear about, but are necessary to remove the overpopulation of coyotes. In Unit 10, they have taken out over 569 coyotes in a 2-year period. That's a lot of dogs out of there.
How many coyotes did you catch during your trapping season?
I only got 16 this year. I don't really target them. I'm after the bobcats and the fox.
All right.
The ones that were bothering ranchers, I went up and caught them. But most of them are just incidental. Catch them in my bobcat sets.
Well, hold that thought. We're going to switch gears and go tuna fishing with our buddy Rick over at the tackle shop at H&M Landing. Hey, hope you have a good Memorial Day, Ricky. What's going on, brother?
Oh, man, didn't get much better. I was just curious, is it Memorial Day or is this like middle of July?
That good?
And 3 boats are down in the area where those fish are on 2.5-day trips right now. Everyone has over 100 bluefin for their first day of fishing.
Nice.
Most of them have about 30 yellowfin. The bluefin are ranging anywhere from 30 to 60 pounds. It has just been full steam. One of the boats was talking to us on the radio, says, must have 300 feet of bluefin sitting under the boat right now.
Is that the TG-80?
Yep, Top Gun 80's down there.
Nice.
Fishing. They'll be in tomorrow. It'll be interesting to see how they do today.
What's the other big boat that's out?
Oh, there's 2 other boats down there. The Shogun's down there and the Condor's down there.
Ooh, who's running the Shogun these days? Is
I don't know.
Kawaganoff still on?
No, he's not. He's off the boat.
Okay.
They had a couple guys from Seafort that are running it now, but they're doing a good job. Heard good things, but Bobby and Scotty are whacking them.
How far down are they, Rick?
About 150.
Ooh, that's not bad.
2.5-day trip's about perfect for that.
That's just right.
Yep, and yellowtail action all last week was very good. This weekend it kind of shut off.
Any patties blown up?
Oh, well, yeah, there's fish under the patties, but the guys are pretty much going through them, past them, looking for the tuna.
Okay.
There are a few fish caught closer under patties, but most of the fish have been either on the beach at the island, inside of the islands. That's where most of the fish were.
That sounds good. Things obviously are heating up. How are your bookings coming?
Well, it just went out last night, and we're already starting to get calls. I'm sure those boats next week are going to fill up pretty quick.
Man, looks like we're going to have a darn good season. Any Albacore show yet?
No, not yet. Nothing up north either, which is a good sign. But hopefully they'll be coming in along with them. You never know with those guys.
How big are the yellowfin running?
Yellowfin right now are about 15 to 20 pounds.
Okay.
That's still a good fish.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. They are very good fish.
They'll make
it's about the right size for everybody to catch.
Yeah, they'll make a man out of you, JK.
Rick, when do you expect the bluefin to be coming in closer?
You never know. Could be tomorrow. The fish can swim 40 miles a day, so it could be by the end of this week, or they could sit out there. It kind of depends on the currents in the bait. There's a hurricane starting to blow down off the tip of Baja in mainland Mexico there, and called the Manda. And if it keeps coming up this way, it's going to just keep pushing more fish up. It's just could be stellar.
Wow. Good. Any prognosis out of NOAA that you're hearing of on the effects of El Nino on the weather patterns?
Well, like I said, there's a lot more warm water this year than there has been in the past 6 or 7 years. That hurricane's already starting up, which is very unusual for May. And those things are just engines that push warm water, and that's going to definitely help. It definitely help push that warm water and all those warm water fish up. Yellowfin, Dorado, bluefin, all those guys. I was looking at another thing on NOAA, and the current from Japan actually looks like it's much better for us if the albacore swim around that way.
Yeah, I'm curious. Well, on two fronts, curious about the fishing opportunities, and then curious what's going to happen to us here in the desert. Rain, no rain, a lot of heat.
Most of those things kick up some monsoon, so you might get some more rain.
Man, we need some water bad over here. We're about ready to lose our big mother lake. How are your fires doing over there?
Well, they're pretty much out for now. You got burned pretty good. Still haven't heard what started them. Heard a tractor started one of them, but they lost about 11 homes. I think they only lost one person, thank God. But quite a bit of damage.
Yeah, so that the smoke was over San Diego was pretty intense for a while there.
Oh, yeah. It sure was.
All righty, we'll let you get back to work.
All right, guys, come on out fishing. If you can get on those 2 and 2.5 day trips, you're going to have a time of your life. These fish are just blowing up.
You can check them out at hmlanding.com or 619-222-1144.
Thanks, guys. Have a great weekend.
You too, man. All righty. It's good.
The way he's talking now, I suspect that by the time mid-June comes around, it's just going to be all over it.
Well, we've got the banquet to get through. We have the Big Game Forever barbecue. And again, if you have any interest in what's going on out in Washington, D.C., Sean Mathewson will be here to give us an update and tell you how you can engage on some of the fights that we're
Sean Mathewson, he probably better than most people understands the Washington, D.C. politics.
That's what they do.
Yeah. I mean, that's where they live, and quite frankly, it drives me crazy. And you and I would not do well in that environment because there would be a whole lot of bodies left around behind us as we're leaving. It's just that kind of town. I do not have the political wherewithal to survive in that kind of an environment. Where they say one thing and they do another, and it's a lot of posturing, and a lot of people are in it for themselves.
A lot of chest pounding.
Oh, yeah.
I wanted to share with Derek. I've been fortunate in my fishing career to pro staff for a number of different people, but something came to mind on that nitro. Out at Lake Pleasant, we had a contract with Skeeter, had a 21-foot I class, and Matt Shuro was out there. Bass Pro Shops. Nice guy. Greatest guy in the world. I mean, this guy just really, really a good guy. We're getting ready to launch, and we're making a pit stop there over on the 10 lane, and I got through and walked out, and Matt went over and washed his hands and combed his hair. And he came out and he said, at Nitro, they teach us to be politically correct and wash our hands after we use the restroom. I said, well, Skeeter, they teach us not to pee on our fingers.
Nice.
So, I like that. Say it. So, it's all good. Sorry, man.
Political correctness just went down the road
on that story.
It's a true story.
I don't doubt it.
Nice.
I don't doubt it.
Just stand closer. You'll have less problems. We're going to stand down when we come back more on what's going on around the state, striper fishing, deer hunting, catching things, because I want to talk to you about your ideas on the traps. We'll be right back.
How about them cowgirls?
All righty, we're back. Scott, you went out to the Sportsman Forum out at the department on Wednesday. You and Steve Craig had some interesting comments about the foothold traps. What do you guys think? Explain that.
Well, we're starting to think about, we'd like to get either ballot initiative or go through the legislature to see if we can't get padded jaw foothold traps legalized back in Arizona. When the referendum went through in 94, there was no such thing as a padded jaw trap. And the technology for trapping is so much more humane than it was 20 years ago that we believe there's really no way that you can complain about a padded jaw trap, because it is the same exact trap that they use to catch wolves and otters to use for relocation. It's the same exact thing, and they do not cause any damage.
Nice.
I can guarantee you,
there will be
people
are going to complain about it.
It's the perception.
Yeah. But that's something we'd like to start working on, because we've got to get the predators under control in Arizona, mainly the coyotes. And you can't control the coyotes on the little bit of private land that people trap on. I trap a lot of land, but just a little bit of private. I can go in and take care of the coyotes there really quick, but I still got hundreds of square miles around me that are all public that I can't catch coyotes on.
This time of year, within the city limits, we're seeing all kinds of weird stuff.
Oh, I already found
coyotes, bobcats. I got an email that I shared with you guys the other day from Joy on Lookout Mountain, 52nd Street and McDowell. One of the security cameras at a semiconductor plant picked up I'm guessing that's probably a 150, 160 pound mountain lion in the middle of the night.
Mm-hmm. Unbelievable.
I've got some work going right now where a woman called me while we're at the meeting. Got a hold of me. Coyote just ate her dog. And I started walking around there, and I found a den with 5 pups, male and a female there. There's another area that's got 3 coyotes and 8 pups. Yeah. 41st Avenue in Yorkshire.
Oh, wow.
There's another area right in Peoria. I found the den. It's got 8 pups and 3 grown coyotes working it. That's just 2 places I've looked.
Coyotes that living in a culvert at basically 59th Avenue in Peoria, a little bit south.
It doesn't take much for them to survive here in the urban setting. They've got plenty of water. They've got water all over the place with pools, people's pets. It doesn't take much for a coyote to survive. It doesn't take much for them to survive out in the wild.
Fluffy went to dinner.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That happens. I mean, in Gilbert particularly, we have some of those riparian areas that this town has put together, which is really nice because they have all the birds that are brought in.
They've got a couple of great parks over there. We've had events at, absolutely.
And what happens, though, is that people will dump cats, and then the cats go into these riparian areas because that's where all the birds are at. And the Audubon had a huge fight with the cat lovers because they removed over 120 of them. Cats from that one riparian area in Gilbert. They were just throwing fits because they were killing the cats, taking them to shelters. Well, you have to do something. And so it was interesting to watch that kind of a fight go on between the Audubon and the cat lovers when you have that many, and the people are dropping them off. And, of course, cats, they will breed just like mad. And we found more and more of them. If you put any kind of a prey species in a lot of great environment for them, you're going to attract the predators, whether it's cats. And then if the cats are there, guess what? Coyotes will come in next, and they'll take care of the kitties.
Yeah, it's like you were saying. It's like you were saying a little while ago. I don't believe you should put any money into any kind of deer or elk projects unless you're going to do some kind of predator management first. Just look at your Catalina bighorn sheep project they've got going. They've lost 14.
You can call Scott at home, Sandy. They've
lost 14 sheep. They've lost 14 sheep that I've read about.
Oh, yeah.
Just because of the lions. They didn't do any kind of predator management before it went in. Personally, I hope the whole thing works out great. I'd love to have more sheep. But unless you're going to do some kind of...
You know who stopped that? That whole project with the Desert Bighorn Sheep Society was put together with the Center for Biological Diversity.
I know, yeah. They're the ones that...
They refused to allow early predation removal.
I know.
And that's why you had 15 of them served up as dinner right away.
Well, that's why I broke out laughing at a game and fish meeting when they told me that was going on.
Derek, you want to go over to Dunkin' Donuts with me?
Double D, guys. Bye.
Let's go.
You can't
hunt a coyote, Dunkin'.
You can't do anything without at least thinning your predators down first.
No, I totally agree.
You can make all the wildlife waters and remove all the fences you want until you get the predator problem in this state under control. You're not going to show any progress.
See, he thinks the same way I do.
He's from Texas.
Yeah, but you have to do it in a concentrated area, and I mean it has to be a big area because they will fill in right away.
Texas has a rule that we don't have. They allow aerial gunning.
We can aerial gun here, and we will.
Yeah, if you work for the Fish and Game Department.
Absolutely, I understand.
Well, they do. They get really good numbers, and they've got the science now to back up that aerial gunning on their antelope herds, on how the antelope herds are now getting fawn survival, where usually it used to be about a 10-hour survival time for a newborn antelope fawn.
Yeah.
Now they're getting some to survive to the fall.
Once they're over 5 weeks old, they can outrun coyotes. Mm-hmm. They're fine. Mule deer, it takes over 6 months, and they're still susceptible to coyotes. That's the biggest problem. That's why the mule deer herds have plummeted so much.
You want to talk about fishing?
Yeah. Okay, we can go back to fishing. Fine. Striper snare.
Shooting is fun. Shooting coyotes. I actually have some chickens in my backyard, and they actually got a couple of them.
Chickens?
Yeah. And we have a lot of stray cats.
Wait a minute.
They look like mountain lions.
Let me tell you. Don't let JK know where you live.
Okay.
I'm a gypsy.
He's the president of the United Hungarian Gypsy Foundation.
Yeah.
Women and children and
chickens
are not safe.
Not when I'm around.
Really?
Yep. Yeah, they actually took our last 2 out last week.
What are you doing about that?
I don't know. I don't know if we're going to get any more or not.
Where do you live?
I live in Sunny Slope, so I'm off
the slope.
Random gunfire in Sunny Slope is common.
It is. You think it make the coyotes run, but no, they're going to hang out.
I'm not talking about making them run. Roll them over.
Yeah.
You're up in the slope, 32nd Street, up in that area.
I'm on Central and Hatcher.
Oh, okay, downtown. Oh, the big time.
Yeah.
All right,
so I've actually got the S in the backyard. You can.
Yes, you do.
Hit golf balls in the back until the neighbors call.
Nice.
Yeah. Which I haven't done in a year, but I'll still catch hell when I get home if there's a ball out in the back.
Interesting.
Yeah.
What's the best time to fish stripers in your opinion? Daytime, nighttime, early morning, late afternoon?
I like to do right before, basically sunset. That's when you'll see the striper boils. In my experience, I see them in Humbug Creek in the evenings. I started patterning last summer or so in that area.
Right in the mouth going into Humbug?
Yep. I don't know what it is about that area, but there's a lot of brush there, so I wouldn't condone trolling during the day. But in the evening, you can see a lot of striper activity on the top, and the key is I like to throw rattle traps at them.
Mm-hmm.
The only downside is just getting the hooks out fast enough to rethrow it. But a lot of people use a swim bait. But and the boils aren't very big and they don't last very long, so you got to be pretty mobile. And it'll last for a good hour or so, and then I catch a lot of fish at night in that area also. So I just don't like being that far away from where I put in at night. So I'm gonna night fish on the south part of the lake the majority of the time. If I change that up, then I'll just launch out at Castle Creek.
Well, one of the things that's pretty interesting, the stripers have a tendency to follow current.
Right.
This time of the year, we've got the water going out at the dam, and during the wintertime, one of my favorite times to deliberately fish for stripers is, not that I'm going to tie up on the buoy, but right at the buoy line, taking an 1.5 ounce cast master that I mentioned to you, and chucking it and bounce it off the concrete columns, let it free fall for 2 minutes, and then burn it back to the boat.
Yeah.
You too can do that.
Well, I've bounced a lot of stuff off of piers and rocks and everything else.
Not on purpose?
No, on purpose. Seriously, that's one of the ways I learned to bass fish was to just chuck it on top of docks, the little docks that people had as I was coming around the lake. I'd go in the middle of the lake and come in and just do the perimeter, toss it up against railings and bounce them off the cement.
There's some good largemouth that hang out there too,
No doubt.
6, 8, and 10s.
Yeah, largemouth, they're going to run with those rogue striper that get 24 inches and over. They're going to be in small groups. And
with those guys, size matters.
Yeah. And one thing I've noticed is if you're catching fish off anchovies, you're not going to catch a striper off a live shad right next to that rod because they're so size oriented.
Yeah.
So if one bait doesn't work, try another one, try another location, but you just got to stay mobile just like they do.
Yeah, man. All righty, I've got some music in my head. We're going to stand down, and when we come back, we're going to get a hold of James Guggenauer for the Roosevelt Rim Country Fishing Report.
From downtown Payson.
Home of the Monster Mutter. June 7th.
Yeah.
All righty, we'll be right back.
Everybody does. Instead of sitting out here in the middle of nowhere,
the grass. Left my truck at the boat ramp and my boat is full of gas. My old boss thinks I'm sick today. He won't have me to harass, 'cause I'm out here on the river and he can kiss my big old bass. Kiss my bass.
Yeah, man. Hey, Brother James, how are you doing in downtown Payson, where the weather is always nice?
Oh, you would love it up here. We had a low of 50 degrees last night, and we had a good rain for about an hour.
Perfect.
This morning at first light, there was even a little bit of haze out there due to the moisture. So, great morning up here.
Yeah, good. Any of that water stick?
No, not really. I was up in it yesterday. I got into part of that rain, and I mean, all it's doing is it goes in, and you don't have as much chalky dust up there in the hills.
Gone.
Yeah.
It is soaking in, but we'll take anything we can get at this point.
Yeah,
hey, before you get going on your Rim Country Fishing Report, are you going to engage on the Monster Mutter?
Oh, I'm there. I'm going to be volunteering with Cameron, and he said that this week I'll get an email giving me my assignment. It's almost like being in the military. I'm going to get my orders this week.
Oh, from General Cameron.
General Cameron.
Oh, my God. I wouldn't look forward to that one.
All he's going to do is wind up putting ice cubes in the Arctic Trench.
You know, Cameron and I talked because James has dodged the high drive for a couple of years. Yeah. So. Yeah.
You know what would be fun? It would be to have him be one of the gladiators at the entrance into the main arena.
Oh, there you go, James.
Hey, if it's not dragging you around on a cowhide, I'm just not interested, you know?
Yeah, thanks, buddy. All right, well, they're going to get back to that next year, so we'll talk about it. What's going on in the fishing report?
Hey, a couple of things. Starting out, I want to remind everybody, because we got an awful lot of boats that are on the water this weekend, and clean, drain, and dry is the law here in Arizona. We don't want to move mussels, and the requirement is that you have the plug out of your boat. So I understand that there are extra enforcement officers on the lakes this weekend verifying that. So for all your listeners, make sure the plugs are out of those boats before we take them in or out of the water.
Good advice. Could save you a whole bunch of money.
They should have a campaign about that. Don't move a mussel.
Clean, drain, dry.
Don't you think that'd look good on billboards?
I think so, too, yeah.
All right, James, bail us out of this.
Sure. The water level in Roosevelt dropped another 1%. We're down to 48%.
Every week.
You know, this week, the water is even increasing that they're taking out. It has been slightly over 1,000 cubic acre feet that they're removing each day, and now it's jumped up to 2,000. So the drawdown is happening for sure at Roosevelt, and I think that'll probably continue through most of the summer like that. Both the Salt River and the Tonto are flowing at about 20% of their normal rates for this time of year, and the water temperature is increasing. I got some reports that it was close to 80 degrees in the shallow water in the back of coves in the afternoon.
Wow.
So summer conditions is what we're moving into here. In spite of all that, bass fishing was called excellent this past week by experienced anglers. As I said, we're moving from the spawn into a summer pattern, so the fish are moving out into like a 15 to 25 feet of water, but there's still some post-spawn activity going on. It's the spawn has really stretched out this year in bigger numbers. Usually by now there's still some fish spawning, and you know that'll go into June, even some of them. But it seems like the large numbers have been more consistent this year. The topwater bite that we've been talking about is still happening in the morning. Buzz baits and Zora spooks and shallow running crankbaits were working pretty well for that. But as I said, when the sun gets up and it starts to warm up a little bit, you're going to need to go to a Cinco, a drop shot, a Texas rig, or a Carolina rig. All those are going along pretty well. And even the crappie picked up a little bit last week. I was glad to hear some good crappie reports, but the major change is the guys have switched over in big times now to night fishing. this coming week we're going to have a new moon, so crappie lights will be working very well at night, and the only reported at night is a live minnow for crappie fishing. So if you're around or you're on the water this weekend, you might try down by the marina with some crappie lights, and should get at least 10 and above, at least some of the reports I was getting last week.
Wow. Sounds all good.
Yeah, so it's been working pretty good.
What's the flow on the tonneau end?
Both the tonneau and the Salt River are right at about 20%. I think the tonneau might be slightly below that.
Yeah, that's kind of what
I've the last couple of weeks done is it's not so much that the flow in either one of the salt or the tonneau is increasing. It's just that the average number or flow rate for this time of year is coming down.
Yeah.
So there's still, I think the salt's flowing at like 100 cubic feet per second, and the tonneau's flowing at like 7 cubic feet per second or something.
We've got a June commission meeting up in downtown Payson. Are you going to be present?
I'm going to be present. I'm actually presenting on both days. I'll be there on the 13th, giving some feedback to the commissioners on some different programs that are operating. And then on the 14th, I'm going to be presenting a citizen's perspective on the gizzard shad work that's being done by the Game and Fish Department. So we encourage everyone to make it up to Payson the 13th and 14th of June. That's at the Madisell Hotel and Casino.
Nice.
I'll be up there that day because that's the day they award the tags, the special big game tags. So I'll be up there on Saturday. They also have
a prime rib special. Take advantage of that.
Always do.
Nice.
Oh, yeah.
Derek, being a newcomer, have you engaged in any of the commission meetings with fisheries or any of the other subjects?
No, not yet. I'm looking forward to it.
We invite you to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Any kind of intel I can get.
All right, what else you got, Brother James?
Hey, just a couple of things. Trout fishing, just as I've been telling you for the last month or so, is on fire. I was talking to Dennis Pert this week. He's telling me that early morning or late evening are the best times for trout, and you want to look under logs, behind boulders, or overhangs in the creeks.
That sounds just exactly what Dennis would be doing.
I want his job when I grow up.
Yeah.
I mean, it's unbelievable. That man just gets to hunt and fish. There's something wrong. He's got the perfect life.
James and I have tried to have meetings up there, and Dennis is late. He comes in, it's 4:15, and he says, I got to go. I got a whitetail tag. See ya.
Done.
Yeah, that's absolutely true.
It is.
Hey, Ed, one last comment before I run. To all the listeners out there, take some time this Memorial Day weekend to think about the brave men and women that made the ultimate sacrifice for our country so that we can enjoy the freedoms that we enjoy every day. And if you don't have your flag out yet, be sure to drop what you're doing and go display your flag this weekend.
Well stated.
Good job, James.
All right. Thanks, Don.
All right, James. We'll see you at the commission meeting, or actually before at the Monster Mutter Games up there at the Payson Rodeo Grounds. They've changed the name. It's the Payson
Multi-Event Center.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Smells like cows.
It is cows.
You'd
cows
be right at home.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, giddy up.
Striper's Snatcher.
Yeah, boy.
Watch where you step.
Yeah, that's all good. A couple quick things back on the San Diego deal. The Top Gun 80, Bobby Taft is the skipper on that boat. I think they've got the Taft clan, let's say, has 4 boats over there. This is an 80-foot vessel. Oh, man, it's I've been on that boat. It's just an awesome boat. They've got 3 live bait tanks on it, John. They'll take up to 400 scoops of bait.
Wow.
Oh, geez.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Yeah, it's got a 15-ton spray brine refrigerated hold in it, so it's an excellent long-range boat.
Now, you were saying on that one of the boats that when you got one hand on the line and the other in the live well, trying to get your bait ready, and you don't want the red-nosed, you want something that's clean and green,
right,
ready to fight, and you put it on and you're out the door.
Absolutely. Fresh bait. And what Derek was talking about, you nose hook them.
Mm-hmm.
There's another way, depending on what the fish are doing. Generally, in order to get them to swim down, you nose hook them, and it's important to get a real lively one. So he's out there fooling around and getting whacked.
Do they have dorsal fins on them at all?
They do. If you get a situation where you've got a frenzy going, let's say, or you got a lot of breezers that are coming up right at the surface and hitting the chum on the top of the water, you'll hook them right on the dorsal and off they go, and
won't take any time at all.
Hang on.
Yep.
Yeah, it's all good. Have you had any offshore time?
You know, I went to San Diego for the first time in January, but my timing was off.
We're going to invite you back. We got to go to a break. Thank Bill at Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram. If you're looking for a vehicle, this weekend's the one.
On 27th Avenue in Camelback.
I-17 in West Camelback. That was 1927.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Alrighty, we're back. We're going to get this thing wrapped up and get on with the
Memorial Day weekend.
It is, and James has very good points. Put your flag out and just stop and think about it. I was listening to Rush Limbaugh the other day, and Rush just enough to make you nuts, but he was talking about the last two generations. They have not known war like we grew up with it.
Oh yeah.
The Vietnam War, we had that for dinner every night on the nightly news, and it's pretty interesting. And the suicide rates for veterans, wow, way up, way up,
That's
way up.
Very scary.
Well, we're finally seeing some movement with VA. As I was driving to the studio this morning, listened to it yesterday. There's new works in order to get the veterans the care that they need on an outpatient to private sector clinics and hospitals and doctors, and that's certainly a good thing. So.
My dad keeps going to different clinics now. They have a different VA clinics that are opening around the valley. I saw one out on Power Road just south of
for veterans only.
For veterans only. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So they're starting to do some of that.
Yeah, it's all good. Again, Greenwood Cemetery, an awful lot of service people are in turn there. 2300 West Van Buren starts at 8 o'clock. It's a short but very intense ceremony, if you will. And a lot of interesting guys to talk to. Some World War II, Korean, Vietnam era veterans. And we've got a couple of our National Guardsmen going to meet us over there. So it's...
You going to go up to the one on Cave Creek at all?
No, we're pretty much tied up on this one. It's going to run... Yeah, by the time we get up there's an awful lot to do, but the Arizona Military Vehicle Collectors Club showing up with war machines, let's say, on display. They invoke an awful lot of conversation with some of the veterans, and it's all good. Brings back memories.
Yeah.
Oddly enough, a lot of fond memories. They'll tell you what an SOB your truck is because I had to ride the back of it.
But it was the only thing that was moving.
Yeah, it's like riding, my 5-ton is just as bad as the Doo's and Half. It's like riding on square blocks.
But it's enormous. And you're not walking.
Yeah, ginormous. Yeah. So let's give Scott one more shot. We've got the Big Game Forever evening event starting about 5 o'clock at Saguaro Ranch. What are you bringing? It's potluck.
What am I bringing?
Yeah, you bringing possum pie or?
No, I'm not bringing anything. My wife's going to make a lot of good things,
nice.
A lot of desserts, and we've been talking about your wife.
He's bringing her
on what good of desserts and foods your wife makes.
I'll be sure to go catch her a coyote.
By the way, Jan is an awesome.
Yeah, I'm not bringing anything. My wife's going to. I know she's going to do some serious cooking.
You're welcome to come over and hang out.
Yeah, sounds good.
You're going to learn some stuff that albeit
you need to know.
We're fishing. It's hook and bullet time, and about 76% of our tournament anglers have a hunting license, and we've kind of moved into fish for that, hunt for this and that and the other thing, and it's a battle out there protecting our waterways, protecting the woods, what's in the woods, and you know why the devil went down to Georgia?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he was scared to go to Alabama. Let's just say they don't know what's in the woods.
No, nor do they want to ever find out.
No, and right next door, they've put a moratorium on whacking coyotes because of the red wolf introduction. They're breeding with coyotes and domesticated dogs. So
there's a hybrid that I would never want to have a part of.
No.
No.
And quite frankly, the philosophy that they can't tell the difference between a coyote and a red wolf is absurd. But we're anticipating that same kind of result.
Smells like CBD again.
Of course.
But let's give your website out and your contact information, and I want to thank you for coming down, and you're welcome to come down anytime.
Awesome. Yeah, my website is it's easy to confuse. It's stripersnatcher.com. Every time I go to a gas station, sometimes the word striper gets turned into something else.
I'm just saying.
Those phonetic boys just don't get it, do they?
Don't be hanging out at the truck stop.
Yeah, if I hop out in a nice suit, it's not because I'm doing something I shouldn't be. But yeah, so it's stripersnatcher.com. My phone number is 480-259-2931. And basically, it's an awesome fishing guide opportunity. I do evening and night trips during the week also. So if you have a knack for $100 investment to get out of the lights, then give me a call and we can definitely arrange an adventure.
And he does the filleting afterwards.
Nice.
Filleting afterwards, yeah.
Yeah, you had an interesting question, how to cook a striper.
Yeah, what's the best? I'm looking for good recipes for any kind of seafood. Not the kind that I seafood, I eat it. No. I want good recipes for stripers.
I prefer frying them just because I'm a good old boy, but I know some people that like to smoke them too. The bigger ones.
How do you get them lit?
From the tail.
Forward.
From the tail forward. You let it dry for about a week, and but I've got one guy in particular. He loves to smoke them. He'll actually smoke some for me too. But yeah, there's a few different varieties, but yeah, I like to stick to my good old fry and vegetable oil, but that's just a Texas method.
Anything south of, say, Kentucky, it's got to be fried. You know that. I know that.
Yep.
Cholesterol be damned. We're going to do this.
That's right.
It tastes good.
Yeah, you only live once, so I'm going to do what I want on that.
The Striper Snatcher. I like it. I do.
Good stuff. Yeah, we'll get you posted up on the ShakeRattleAndTroll.com website, your website, maybe link into that, get your phone number up. Who's your pick for NASCAR today?
Oh, it's sure not Jeff Gordon.
Absolutely not.
I think Jeff Gordon's going to end up in the wall or with a flat tire.
Yeah, he'll be back there running with.
Then he's going to whine. He'll whine and cry.
Yeah.
He'll whine and cry. They'll let him back in, and he'll crash again. And he'll whine and cry.
He doesn't whine or cry. He set the standards
for
education.
On a long run, Jimmy Johnson today?
Probably.
No, it'd be my guy Tony Stewart. Yeah,
bet me.
It's a
I will bet you a box of Double D's. I usually don't eat donuts, but when I do,
it's a double.
I have a Dunkin' Donut.
Come on, bet him.
I'll bet you Tony Stewart beats Jimmy Johnson, and I know he'll beat Jeff Gordon.
Nope. I'll bet you on Jimmy that he doesn't. A box of donuts.
Where's Earnhardt going to be in the mix?
Who cares?
Oh, I do.
Oh my good
God! He's just
little arrogance here.
He's too big to wrestle with.
Yeah, well, there's two of us.
As long as Jeff Gordon does bad, who cares? That's what it's all about.
Yeah,
is Jeff Gordon going in the wall?
I like Jeff.
Well, one more shout out for the AAF banquet.
Yep, May 31st at the Wild Horse Pass and Casino.
Tickets are available where?
azdeer.org. Online, you can get them. And we need it before Tuesday or Wednesday because that's our cutoff time for how much food we're going to prepare for it.
Wow.
Yep. We've got a lot of items. There's going to be over 100 different items that people can bid on. Silent and live auctions. So, knock your socks off.
A lot of good stuff.
Lots of good stuff.
Okay. Anything to add on behalf of striper snatching?
No. I'm going to give a Memorial Day shout out to my family listening in Texas. My grandfather served, Alex Roscoe. He's still real close to me. That's what brings fishing close. You make memories, and so
it all started with Grandpa.
It did. Yeah, he was the GPS and the fish finder before that came about. So so there's a close bond I feel when I'm on the water. And that's the reason I like to do that for other people, just to create a good memory for the children and the parents while they're out there.
You know where my first fishing experiences came from? My dad. And I remember there were two places, the Maumee River in Ohio, where we'd go for catfish, and the Detroit River outside of Lincoln Park, Michigan, where we'd go for jumbo perch. Those are my memories.
How about yourself, Scott?
What's that, fishing?
Fishing, or trapping, yeah, whatever.
I really have no fishing memories. I don't fish hardly at all.
He's been deprived.
No, I used to fish when I was a kid, but I don't have the patience for fishing. I'm not one of those guys who can sit there and watch worm drown. You gotta
go straight to catching.
Hey, I'm one of those guys that I can have more fun running dogs than I ever could fishing.
Trust me, I was up there for 3 days with him. This guy has more fun than a 12-year-old.
As should be.
It's all good. Hey, put your flag out today. Salute a soldier. Think about those who've gone before us. I'm Don McDowell with
Special K,
Scott Corcoran,
and Derek Franks.
Take your kids fishing, hug your bass boat, guys. We're out of here.